Ford and GM are facing a dilemma as the Chinese excel in electric vehicle, and Jim Farley admits that he was shocked when he ripped apart a Tesla Model Y. Michael Dawn shared this article from the New York Times and wrote, "If nothing changes," because the article comes with some stark warning that without major changes, Americans' giants like Ford and GM could end up as mere nameplates, famous brand slapped on a vehicle or electric powertrain actually designed and built in China. As Chinese automakers dominate EVs, China held over 70% of global EV production in 2025 per IEA data. But the US automakers see flat global sales, falling profits, and US policy shift favoring gasoline vehicles are leaving Detroit legacy players struggling to compete. The article asks if they can adapt fast enough or risk fading into niche producers of gas-powered truck and SUVs. I personally don't think they can move fast enough because they have already kind of shown it. 5 years ago, they all talked a big game, and they would catch up to Tesla, and they were leaders in the EVs, and they would overtake Tesla by 2025, but none of that happened. Ford only sold less than 100,000 EVs globally in 2025. So after talking big for more than half a decade, it has basically gone nowhere. Why would we expect Ford to be able to ramp up to a meaningful amount of EVs over the next 5 years? I personally think they are simply reacting too slowly. As we could also hear Jim Farley explain in an interview by Car and Drive done last week, where he said, "We hadn't designed the electric car right. We had a Mustang Mach-E, we had an E-Transit, we had the Lightning, and people loved these products. The problem was they were never going to pay the cost we put into the vehicle." So, like I had said before, Toyota admitted this straight after they put the BZ4X on the street. And why I've said many times, this probably means that every other legacy automaker is in the same predicament. They are not earning money on EVs and will not earn money before they get to the next generation EV platform when they design it right. Jim Farley has just confirmed exactly that for Ford as well. But when he was asked, "When did you realize you done EVs wrong?" he said, "When we ripped apart a Tesla. I was just absolutely flabbergasted. The Mach-E's wiring harness was 70 pounds heavier and 1.6 kilometers longer. We didn't know what was going on in Tesla's engineers' minds, but now we understand. They had no prejudice. We had prejudice. We've gone to our supply chain person and said, buy another wire harness. Tesla said, let's design a vehicle for the lowest, smallest battery. Totally different approach. Just like Sandy Munro showed when he teared down the Tesla Model Y 4 years ago, as I reported on at the time. But the public continued to call the Ford Mach-E competition to Tesla's Model Y, and it would eat into Tesla's cell. But like I've been saying for the last 5 years, since these two cars came out, they are not truly in competition with each other, as one is a sustainable business case and the other is not, and Jim Farley has just confirmed that. But it also shows that what we have been talking about before, that Ford and many others rushed to produce an EV to show the world that we can also do what Tesla does, but didn't realize that Tesla had not just built an electric car, put an electric powertrain into a normal car. They have reinvented how we build cars with gigacasting and structural battery packs and so much more efficient engineering, and Tesla is able to make changes to their production line and their products every single day if they find new and better ways of doing things. That is why the Tesla Model Y today is so much better than the Tesla Model Y just a few years ago. The Ford Mach-E is basically the same car, and the Mach-E and the Tesla Model Y may look similar and are in the same market, but they are very different products underneath. And Ford is hoping that the next generation EV platform from their skunk team will help them to get to profitability. But they will not have a vehicle on the street on that platform before at least the end of 2027. And then they have to ramp up production from there. But Where will Tesla and the Chinese be in 5 years' time when Ford has finally ramped up some EVs on their new profitable platform? The Chinese will be all over the place, and I think Tesla will be ruling the autonomous car. But Ford will have an EV on the street that they should have a decade earlier. They should have ripped apart a Tesla Model S and used the patent that Tesla open sourced in 2014. But either Ford was too arrogant to do so, or just didn't see what was coming. And now they are a decade too late.